Okay, well,
I mean,
we are now recording.
Oh.
Do clients ever do what they're supposed to?
2017 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone. We got off to a little bit of a late start. We just got into talking and oops, we're not recording.
There we are. It says recording.
Okay, let's start with Kelly. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You were telling us you were started. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I started a bookkeeping business practice at the beginning of the year, motivated by having done some bookkeeping for a nonprofit that I work for, and I was looking for a way to develop a longer-term revenue stream working remotely so I can travel different places but still have work available. And it seemed like with the QBO available now that looked like this is like a good option. And I wanted to focus on working with socially conscious individuals and small businesses that are offering products that benefit people, benefit the planet. And what happened is my friends are kind of in that category, so they've come to me. And so I have 5 clients that I work with. They know that I'm still working and training. I have a CPA who I know from prior life, I guess you'd say. He's actually mentoring me and helping me with the process. And anyway, it's taken a lot longer than I thought because I was doing a part-time job to kind of make some money in addition to doing the bookkeeping. And about 2 months ago, I thought I just really have to double down on this and get more efficient, more effective so I can bring in more clients, because it's not really going to be a way that I can support myself for the time being. So I started I've been watching Hector's videos for probably since March. Recently came across Seth's videos and somehow in his website, and I started in the groups and then met you guys. So it's really just trying to find a good footing and a good resource base and just some people to connect to, learn from, be able to share whatever I might be able to share in that environment. And so that's how I ended up here today.
Well, welcome to our group.
About how all of us got here.
I think that's how I got here.
Well, Sarah specializes in nonprofits.
Yeah, that's my niche.
Oh, good.
Sorry. Did I let something out of the bag?
No. That's fine. That's, it's one of those things as you lumber along through your career that you sort of fall into these, I didn't start out as a nonprofit accountant, but I think once word got out that I slowly figured out what I was doing. I mean, I've been doing this 30 years now, so I got a reputation for being the go-to, and so I have great reputations with all the major CPA firms, and I have CPA firms CPA friends that will call and ask me nonprofit questions. And if I don't know, they'll go, "Wait a minute, I thought you're the one that knows." So, I've spent a lot of time researching and doing CPE and everything, from the tax side to the audit side to the bookkeeping side. So, pretty well rounded as the middleman between the auditors and the book. So, but
just plain old experience is what
plain old experience. I mean, you asked me something about e-commerce and inventory, and you're going to get dough in the headlights. I'm like, what?
I actually started out with 2 of my clients are e-commerce clients, and
Really?
I talk about climbing a mountain the first way out of the gate. It's really been. I'm having to relearn Excel, and I'm having to learn everything all at one time. So
there's nothing like a client that'll go, "Hey, I'm going to start doing this," and you go, "Okay." And then it forces you to keep up. It forces you to it's good, because I got into a situation where my client base was really stable, got everybody just the way I want them, I got my bookkeepers trained, and you get stagnant. Nobody challenged me for a long time, and so that's not good. That's not good. So
challenge yourself enough. You be doing some awesome things, man.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to teach myself temptation. I don't have the patience, you know. I just want to suck it all right now.
Doesn't Seth have videos on Camtasia out there?
I did. Okay, here. He's got the one that's like $247.
Right.
And so I was like,
Hey, boo!
I think I'm going to start off with the free videos that come with the software, and then I'll go to YouTube and get the free ones there. But I knew it was out there. And then he and Hector are doing the live video webinar on December 1st, on Friday.
Right.
So I went $250 to do that. Well, then he gave us the coupon. And
Yeah, so then I thought, it's worth it, and I get a free training video in it. Yay!
See? So he goes 250 minus 100 is 150. I can add, I think. And so $150 we get
Everything.
first on December, and Seth is throwing in that $247 webinar that I've been wanting to watch. So as soon as I paid, boom, I had it. So you didn't hear right. It's really good. It's really good. But I was watching some of the training videos that come with Camtasia, and one of the things they say, of course, I'm a wing it person. I've always been a wing it person, but you know, they say write a script, do screenshots if you have to before you start recording. Know what you're going to do. Don't get squirrel.
That's
Don't
the story of our group.
I know, but
We
that's
are
the story of
totally
Seth.
unscripted.
And so Seth has 2.5 hours, and he did a beautiful job, but he was winging it. So, you know, he picked a topic, he picked a video, he picked this, he got lost a couple times, and he changed his mind a couple, you know. So I think, and I love him dearly. So the whole time I'm watching, I'm going, so, but I got a lot out of it, but it really could have been, it didn't have to be.
Yeah, well, next time.
But it was, you know what it taught me? It taught me I need to,
Right.
how to approach maybe my videos. So the one that I had made last Friday, and I've been playing with it, and I'd made it in Zoom, and I was fighting this. I finally just redid it today.
Good.
And so I learned one thing where you, if you really screw up, to just stop. And then, you know, when I'm editing, you can get that. Okay, so I know to cut.
That's right.
Yeah. So so it's gonna be a learning thing. But I'm impatient. I'm gonna be like Hector and Seth and just be able to just jump in.
They make it look so
They
easy.
had to have gotten there from where we are right now, too.
No, they muddled through it. They taught themselves. They figured it all out.
That's what I'm saying. So they didn't know it right away. So
No,
they got a hold
I'm
of
just
it.
impatient.
Nobody
just
knows
go for
it right away.
Did we know accounting? I got out of college. Did I know accounting? No.
I'm telling you, you know what? I've learned more now than I did in the 2 years of, that I just finished.
You gotta dive in.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, and then since I've been studying for the bookkeeping certification, it's like, hey, they ain't teach me. I don't remember seeing this at school. A lot of it is hard knocks. It's hands-on hard knocks, school hard knocks.
And how can real life be really so different than what actually you're doing out in the field? I mean, and what you're getting taught by the
Because
school.
they're teaching you theory. They're teaching you how to think.
They're not teaching
They're not teaching practical.
right. That's it right there.
I went back to school as an adult, and I'd already been working, and I'm in these classes, and I'm going, well, wait a minute. If she does that, then she wouldn't do that. She'd do this. And the teacher got, not the point.
That's what the book says.
Yep,
Yeah.
Trying to
exactly.
teach theory here. Don't go confusing the class. And I'm like, sorry. But they wouldn't do that.
How about
I just put my slides from my IRS seminar on Wednesday out in the chat.
Yeah, I just downloaded it. So
And
You're
I
doing
guess you could change. What would never happen? You started to tell us a story about this.
Oh, well, this was kind of a snarky question I asked the instructor, since I've known for about 10 years. And I said, well, I know that the e-services is supposed to be up and running by the end of October. But I said, now I know this would never happen. What would happen if they didn't get it done before filing season, or a week before filing season, which would cause a real mess? Because the thing is, that everybody's got to certify or whatever,
Yeah.
re-register for e-services, and they've gone to this new two-step authentication, which probably won't work, and because you have to, you have to have a cell phone in your name. It can't be a business cell phone.
Really?
A business cell
Oh, it
phone.
makes sense.
Yeah, you can't. It
I
cannot
don't
be
even
in
know if it's a business cell phone or
And
not.
why does it have to be a cell phone?
Anyway,
because it's get a text message. So it's a new
That'll force
two-step-
some of these old geezers to get cell
two-step
phones.
authentication. And so he said, well, I guess we just go to the next, And then they had another thing about how the IRS is going to private bill collectors. This is like the third time they've tried this. But the thing is, they don't
Isn't
have.
that how we got all messed up with Equifax?
Well, yeah, part of the problem with the iService, the new two-step authentication is that guess who they had as their service provider for this whole
Equifax.
project? Of course. So now they have to find somebody else. And so it's just kind of I'll kind of believe it when I see it, since they tend to postpone these things. They were supposed to have this thing done last year, like last October. So,
They're only a year behind.
but they're also authorizing private bill collectors to go chase people for money that they owe. And I said, well, if they don't have any authority to, why can't I just ignore them, or put a call block on their ID, on their phone ID? So,
Again.
so I mean, unless you're
We're
scared,
going to work on people who get scared easily. Or whatever.
yeah, I mean,
But there are a lot of people like that out there too. A lot of people hear the name IRS and, how much money do you want?
yeah, but if
Just
people
stay
knew
away. I'll
how,
give you what you want.
But there's
If
also a
people
lot of
knew how-
scams. So how
yeah,
do
but
you
if people knew how short-staffed the IRS is, like this one woman I'm working with at the IRS, the whole building has like one fax machine they can use, so.
Oh, my God.
Well, hell, they're still using XP.
Yeah.
Well, they're
No,
still
XP
using
ran out
faxes.
Huh? Well, you know why? Because the fax is secure.
Yeah.
They can't guarantee that if somebody emails something, that it's going to be encrypted or secure. So they have to stay with faxes.
Well, I know, like eFax, I use that. There's a feature where you can actually have it go to a secure website.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
But
you
why
can
aren't
get
they
it.
using something like ShareFile or these are
They don't
people?
even, they do not have any money in their budget.
No. Which
I mean, it
there's
impacts
so
me.
much money that could be collected.
Oh yeah. I
That
mean,
Then they would have their money in their budget.
the money in
I
their
think
budget. Yeah.
I think the tax gap's estimated around 400 billion now, something like that,
Is that all?
or maybe it's closer to 500. I'm not sure. And then payroll taxes. I mean, there's like about 50, 60 billion that haven't been collected.
Oh my gosh.
And the IRS, yeah, I mean, IRS has to pay it out, on refunds, but people don't necessarily pay it.
wow.
So,
That's incredible.
yeah, I mean, it impacts me when I have to be on the phone for 2 hours trying to talk to the IRS. Although they do have courtesy disconnects after, I think, about an hour. A courtesy disconnect is when they just randomly cut you off, which doesn't, it's like the Orwellian language courtesy disconnects, It's like kind of hard to bill for that too, It's like,
Oh, speaking of the IRS, did I tell you this last Friday? Where we were fighting the IRS on a $2,800 penalty on a client. Did I tell you about that?
Mm-mm.
I think just like today or it all blurs together. Last couple of days on Facebook, there's that gal whose boss wanted her to get a power of attorney and handle and stop the liens. I mean, if it's already a lien, It's been ignored for a long time. Some old bookkeeper did something. Wow. So hundreds of people are telling her run and everything. But, the point is you can't get a power of attorney if you didn't prepare the return. I mean, you can be a contact, but business owners think they can just push off their liability or their chore to somebody else. But so I have a client, he's a lovely client, but he tried to do the same. He called and he has this $2,800 penalty because for the first time in 5 years, they did bonuses, which created a over $100,000 941 payment, which has to be in 24 hours. Well, if you don't do those, you don't know that.
Right,
okay?
right.
So, he doesn't know, and he is a by the book, follows the rules, okay? So he's using desktop payroll, and he clicks on ePay, and he did payroll, and he pays immediately. I mean, sometimes I wish he would wait a couple of days to give me room to fix things, but nope, you got to pay that bill. So he paid the 941 immediately, but Intuit holds it for a day and then passes it on to the IRS. So it didn't tell him that. So he just did what he always does. Well, $2,800 is a 1-day penalty. Okay. Wow. So I get the tax letter and everything, and he's like, handle this. And I'm like, I can't handle. I mean, I said, look, you're just gonna make it worse and prolong the agony if you don't just get on the phone with the IRS. We'll do a conference call, so I'm on there, and I'll wait with you, and we'll listen to that awful music together. We can chit chat.
Dance the flowers.
Yeah. And when they come on, I said, then he can tell them that it's okay to talk to me. Okay. So anyway, so he listened. So we got him, we muddled through it, and great agent, just funny. And my client was funny and everything. I'm thinking maybe we can get away with this. And, but as nice as he could be, because, first they look and see if he's had any penalties, because I think if you haven't had a penalty for a long time, they're going to waive it.
First time abatement.
Yeah. So, but not this. And then we didn't have a good excuse other than we didn't know the law. So that kicked it up to be, what's the next level? Appealed. Okay. So that put a hold on it. 10 days later, and he got a notice that they went no. So I said, all right, one last ditch effort. I drafted a letter, but see, the trick is they want to hear from the owner. They want to hear from the officer or the owner or whoever's responsible. Okay. And I said, we got to buck up and show that you're taking responsibility for this. Don't whine that you didn't know about the law. And I said, so we just spelled out exactly what happened. I used the software. I pay immediately. And I had a copy of the receipt from QuickBooks that shows he ordered that 941 deposit like 15 minutes after he did payroll.
Right, okay? Right.
And I said, all we can say is we did not know that we had to go out directly to the IRS, to the EFTPS website, or use the phone system and pay it immediately. Okay. And so we humbly ask, if you would abate this. Okay. So last Friday. So that took about another month. Well, at least I put a stop on it, but I got a call on Friday.
Isn't there something about relying on professional services?
That's probably the way they looked at it. I mean, they could see a history, that he's a good guy and doing what he says. And no, you shouldn't rely on software, but it was an out of the ordinary type thing. Anyway, they dropped it.
Did they waive it?
Yay!
What you have to do is that there's a specific section in the IRM that you can reference for first-time abatement. The IRS won't tell you about this.
Yeah.
But there's a first-time abatement. So I had a situation where the client had a penalty that he paid like 3 years ago, and I was able to go back and collect $1,500 from the IRS and have it sent to the client. Yeah, give them a refund because they still had within the 3 years, and they had just paid it. They didn't know about the first time abatement penalty, and also you can get reasonable cause, and one of which is relying on professional
That
advice.
may be the way we got to, he won't
Also,
do that
if you-
again.
But
Also, you can go to
Probably
the
won't
tax-
do bonuses again.
you could go to the taxpayer advocate too, and ask them, say the IRS is being difficult.
Yeah, that's a
So-
lot of money.
yeah, but instead of okay, so now that he know and now that you know, if he do decide to do it again, I'm sure he's gonna have a
He's
little more.
never going to do that again.
That's a shame.
Go straight to the IRS or somewhere to pay it.
I
Wherever he
hadn't had one in so long, I forgot.
Well,
I
if you
forgot that.
you can actually get a refund like I did if you paid it and it's within the the 3 years, I think it is, that you can go back and ask them to refund it to you under first time abatement.
Cool. That's good to know.
yeah,
Well, it sounds like maybe, Sarah, you still have that first time abatement card for that client because they didn't obviously.
Oh, they didn't take,
They
yeah,
didn't
well,
take that one, so you may still have that card.
Another thing people don't know about the first time
this
abatement is
guy
that
will overpay before he underpays. Don't worry.
there's one important thing you need to know about the first time abatement.
Yeah.
It's really not just one time. It's once every 3 or 4 years.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Wow.
Now, in a lot of cases, you get it automatically and you get this nice little letter that, hey, you screwed up, but we noticed you hadn't screwed up before, so we're going to let it slide.
Usually you have to ask for it.
Yeah. I've been getting, yeah. So,
Well, if I have that problem, Dennis, I'm calling you. I'm not even
Yeah.
tempted.
yeah.
okay.
Got your number, Dennis. Call Dennis will take care of it.
Yeah, you ever get a call from a 561 area code? Uh-oh, what Peggy done did now?
Well, I was able to get file an amended return that it was over 10 years old, but it got screwed up 10 years ago. I was able to get $70,000 knocked off the bill.
Woo!
Wow, nice.
Now I'm trying to get another $30,000 knocked off. Yeah, for a reasonable cause, because this guy is just a total mess, and he's got all sorts of physical and mental problems.
Is that the guy
Yeah.
you're afraid to drive in the car with?
Yeah, the guy I wouldn't, I won't meet in public,
Mm.
So,
Where I'm real good at getting refunds is workers' comp. Those workers' comp auditors screw up all the time.
Wow.
And if
Wow.
I see a client who's gotten a really large refund or a really large bill, and their labor hadn't really changed and their quote hadn't really changed, something's wrong.
We ended up in the newspaper, and we were a really tiny city because one of the tax preparers in our area, when people go to him,
Yeah.
he come out of the woodwork and the sky and everywhere else to add stuff on their taxes, and they were getting huge refunds. And they told them, only thing we can do is tell you not to use them again, but y'all gonna pay this money back.
well, I wouldn't cash a big check. I'd, find out for sure whether it's
Right,
legitimate or not.
right.
I had a client that
There's
did
just
that.
too many of them coming from that one company, and I don't know if he ended up shutting his doors or not, but I know I never used them anyway. But we get those fly-by-night tax preparers come through the city to pick up business tax license every year. About this time, they start rolling in to purchase business tax license.
Well, here's the thing, and I even know, I've been in this town a long time.
Mhm.
Well, I can tell you firsthand who I've had experience with and who's good and, who to stay away from. I know the ones that go, and they just change 10,000 to 15,000 on home, it's just like, and you go, where'd you get this number? My books were closed. They are done. And I go to the tax return and that number just mysteriously has increased, Well, that was a partner that did me not, So I know which one's cheap. So the thing is, and I remember talking to a guy one time, and he's like, yeah, I know he's really not on the up and up, but you know, he'll defend me if I get, you know, if something happens. I said, yeah, $240 an hour. But not only that, I said, if one of his clients gets audited, they can go back to the firm if they see a pattern for this tax practitioner.
Yep.
They can go back, subpoena all their clients' tax returns and come at you that way. So it isn't you getting caught, it's one of their clients getting caught.
Any number of ways you could get, yeah, not just you, but by doing business, period.
I'm gonna tell you, they got it so bad. Code enforcement went into this bar.
A
Went into
bar?
the bar to see if they had their business tax
Sounds like a
license
joke.
that was supposed to be posted, and there this guy sitting right there doing taxes. I'm like, why are these people trusting anybody that say I can do taxes?
They get beer stains on the forms.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you're giving these people your identity. You know, if you got an identity to give away, well, hell, go ahead on and do it then. That's my opinion right there.
I've got one carpet installer, a W-2. He's been there 25 years. Something crazy. He's worked for the same guy. Okay. He makes really good money. And so he just has a W-2. And out of the blue, his turned out to be an uncle. I said, a relative did this to you? His uncle goes, I can get you a bigger refund. And so, you know, he gets like $7,000-$8,000 more in refunds that he's ever gotten in the past. That wouldn't go ding, ding, ding.
People don't know. All they see is those dollar signs, and
All they see
I
is
can buy me a big screen TV.
and of course, the uncle, he paid cash. The uncle
new
didn't
car.
sign the return. Okay. So the reason I found out about it is because the IRS then caught him and wanted and this had gone on. So it was like at that point, it's like $15,000-$20,000 in taxes and penalties.
Ugh.
And he has a lien, and my client called for me to set up the lien on the tax bill. And I said, wait a minute, this is Fred. Why would he have a tax bill? His tax, I'm thinking, did he change his W-4 and what's going on? Or does he have a side business in 1099 so we didn't know about it? He goes, so I get the story. And I'm like, a relative? Because you know what? He has to pay that money back.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. He's responsible for it.
He's the one that got it. It's in his name. It's not in his uncle's name.
You can only feel sorry for him for to some level, but
I'm sorry, but you can't feel sorry, but you be like, really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So what other exciting stuff has been going on this October is usually the end of personal use of auto. Do y'all handle clients that use those?
What I am doing this year is handing out little booklets to my clients. The old-fashioned way, I put my little name on the front of it and say, here, keep your mileage.
Keep your mileage.
Now that they use their vehicle strictly for business. I tell them, January 1st, go out the door, turn your car on, write your odometer down,
take a picture of it.
Then when you get out the car, write your mileage down. Boom, there's your mileage. If you don't want to use the new apps that's out there or what have you, if you don't want to write it down every time you get in and out the vehicle, they're hard-headed.
But see, there's two angles. One is you're using a personal vehicle and you want to get reimbursed or write it off on your tax. But I've got companies where the corporation owns the vehicle and it isn't a truck with the logo on the side and the ladder on the top. I'm talking about really nice.
No, it's a Maserati.
And these are office people. It's like, you don't go anywhere.
Right.
Okay?
Except home to the office.
Yeah. So if it's owned by the company, now the employee has the burden of telling the company how much they used it for personal business, and they have to pay for using that vehicle.
We have that on.
So on the
He has
W-2,
to have, it's all complicated. There's charts and everything. I've got a client that he's buying a Tesla now. He has 3 cars. So we have to put in all his personal mileage. They charge Social Security and Medicare and all that stuff on it, you know.
On a car?
Yep, exactly. Yes.
so it's called the lease value. You can't just buy a car on the company books and
Right.
let the employee use it tax-free.
You might stop and get a loaf of bread at the Wawa on the way home.
Yeah.
But I heard that that's one of the major.
That's a big audit. Big
IRS
audit
looked at.
thing.
I
You know what?
Yes.
Not just with the IRS, because they don't have enough auditors.
Well, it's called low hanging
Department of
fruit.
Labor. Department of
say
Labor will
something.
come in.
Yeah.
And they've got this questionnaire.
Right.
So I took that questionnaire and I patterned my end of year W-2 engagement. I do a separate engagement letter for W-2s and year ends for every client. And they have to tell me before the end of the year. I had to change it. I had yes or no. Now I have yes, no, and not applicable. Because what they would do is they wouldn't check it. And I got, no. This is protect my arse, okay? So I have, do you have personal use of auto? Yes, no. You know, if they don't want to, of course I know because I do their books, but I want them to sign it to say yes, no. You know, I've got to have some sort of protection so that when the Labor Department comes in and I go, they told me right here, I'm not to put personal use of auto on their vehicle. I only have one client out of my entire place that is real anti. She's getting ready to retire. I wouldn't put up with this crap. But you know, so the I had that list. You know, do we have? There's all kinds of things with W-2. Do you have the child care thing? And you know, so and there's dues, club dues. Those there are certain, if they're taxable, they have to go on the W-2 before the end of the year because the employee has to pay. You got to get their FICA from them.
So basically, they're all treated as benefits that have to be and that are equivalent to a wage that's taxed, that has all the other withholding and everything applied to it.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't.
How many use accountable plans?
Huh?
You know what an accountable plan is?
Accountable plan?
You know what that is?
Yeah, but
It's like when you own, say you're using your own car for business.
Yeah.
You basically, there's something in writing. There's agreement between you and the company in writing that you'll be reimbursed at a certain amount
per mile and all that stuff.
And then what happens is you have to fill out paperwork and give it to the company. The benefit is that the company gets to claim it on their tax return, and the reimbursement is not taxable to you.
Right. But
so otherwise it'd be like extra. You know, if you get reimbursed without an accountable plan, it'd go on your, I think on your W-2.
Right, like an allowance when the boss says, "Hey, I'll give you $200 a month." Don't do that.
I'm going to do that for some of my clients now that have S corps, because you can use accountable plans to sort of mimic the home office deduction if they're working at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, see here's the problem with the personal use vehicle. So back in the 80s, or I probably got this from the firm that I worked for in the early 80s, okay, we had this little form, and you put in the vehicle and the fair. Here's where that tripped them up: the
fair market price.
And then personal miles, business miles, total miles. And I'm looking one that says 10%, 90%. And annual lease, you grab the annual lease value per your table, which hadn't changed in a million years, okay, times the personal use, and then they have a calculation for the value of the fuel. And then it goes in taxable wages, box 1, and I want the employee to sign it. After years of using this, I got a long form that I found somewhere. And then it was a lot more detailed. And it says fair market value isn't like Blue Book today. If you have a new vehicle, when you buy the vehicle, whatever you paid for it is the fair market value, and you have to use that value 3 years, 5 years, 3 years, 3 years.
Boy,
I think it's 3 years. So you can't just go to the blue book and get that.
you don't get the depreciation, huh?
No. So, and so this guy won't use the long form, obviously. So, because it won't benefit him. So, and I said, you know what? If a DOL auditor's in front of me and they say, do you put personal use of auto on the W-2s? We can go, yes. Now, if they want to see all the calculations and all the paperwork and all that, that's one thing. But I want to be able to say, yes. And that's what I've been telling the other client. Put something on the W-2s.
Right.
Something. Don't, then cry ignorance later. But don't just
Ignore it.
That whole fleet of cars that everybody leaves the parking lot at 5 o'clock stays there overnight. I mean, like, common sense, people. And but I have one guy who's so, he even, when we were working on this, he went out and I know we were working on subs versus employees, and they do very similar jobs to what his employees do. As we were trying to cover ourselves for making them 1099s, and he would go out there and take a picture of their truck. You got a file, it's great. He's got pictures of the truck. I said, did you get them standing next to, and pictures of their business cards. Some people are rightly afraid of the government, which makes my job a lot easier.
Well, in the state of Washington, one of my clients, had quote unquote contractors, but he had them out there wearing his shirts and his caps. And so the state of Washington inspectors are out there checking on these landscapers and all that. And
they walked in with the shirts.
Oh, that's a shame.
So, obviously don't do that.
Yeah, that's a tough one there, but.
Well, like in the state of Washington, for example, in order to be like for contractors, it's more stringent than the IRS. And if you are not registered as a contractor for the state of Washington, you're going to be deemed an employee, but you're also responsible for making sure that they are filing their taxes and claiming a Schedule C and all this crap, which I'm sure they don't do.
Yeah.
But if
I
you
don't know how they could make anyone else responsible for someone else filing their taxes.
But I know, make sure that they're claiming that they're a Schedule C at the home office and all that.
I had a DOL auditor go into one of my museums, looked at the 1099s, and the janitor was on. She'd been cleaning there forever, 1 day a week. She's got and so she's got her own business card. She's got everything. She's self-employed, people.
Yeah.
And the auditor goes, I need her client list.
Yeah.
And the client called me and said, can she ask for that? I said, absolutely not.
She can ask, but you don't have to give.
And you have no responsibility to go to your sub and go, prove that you're in business for yourself and I want your client list. Are you crazy? But then they didn't want to piss her off.
Did I tell you about the time I had a client that was a travel agency working out of their home, and they had the neighbor high school kid was coming in and making copies and filing, and they gave her a 1099. Her mother just had a fit, and she went to the IRS and complained, and he had you to pay back payroll taxes. And then just coincidentally, about 6 months later, he had a Department of Labor audit.
Really?
So I think they share information. So I don't think it was a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say the IRS may be overworked, but I'm in California, and the California Revenue Department is a lot more on top of things. So it's like you have to really plan for California filing more than you need to plan for IRS filing.
I don't worry about IRS. I worry about the state.
That's the way it is up here too.
Local, I've told you guys this before, they're all hungry.
Yep.
The tax assessor. They'll just pick a street and go door to door. Walk in and go, let me see that desk on your property tax.
What?
I mean, just walk in the door.
Yeah, they get real creative on Nexus too for sales tax.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, we don't even, oh, that gives me a headache. I'm sticking with nonprofit. Hopefully with my nonprofit. And then they all want to do a little online store. And then, it's bad enough that you got to do the little gift shop. Okay.
Well, I think I told you.
Credit cards and inventory control, but.
I think I told you one time the state of Washington, they were checking people's Facebook pages to see if they were selling stuff, they should have been collecting sales tax on. It was like.
One of my favorite tax, Georgia Department of Revenue, name's Don, but I've known him for 30 years, and I call him George for Georgia. I told him, I said, George, if you ever retire, I'm retiring. I want to know because I am out of this business if he ever leaves, because he's awesome because I can call and I go, oh, I got another one. And I'll go, who are they? He's like, don't go to Atlanta. I got it. And he will fix, he's just awesome. And, but George, I can tell you a funny story. Well, we're being taped, aren't we?
Tell it offline.
It's not for mature audiences. Okay, I'm going to tell it anyway.
Just be general. No names, no specifics.
No, it was me. Okay. When I had my offices, I had built offices. I had 2 businesses, 6 employees, 3,000 square. Oh, okay, I did it all. Okay. So when I built these offices, my gals started getting pregnant, one after another. Okay. If you had fertility problems, come work for Laidlaw. Guaranteed. Okay. So, I got, and I was like ex-Price Waterhouse, pantyhose, the suits, the whole bit, swag, grapes, and, very professional. And, it's early 90s. It's, I'm fighting the male thing. Okay, whatever. Image. Next thing you know, all these babies are popping up. I need my gals back to work. Forget that. I had bouncy chairs in the office doorway. I took an empty office. I put in a crib, a chair, and an ottoman because they're all nursing, and we had babies at the end of desks. It was awesome. I only lost like one client who's like, what? So, it just the whole flavor changed them up. So anyway, so I had this extra office that had a twin bed in it and the crib and everything. Okay. So I work 7 days a week. I'm single. And I pulled an all-nighter. Now, my office wasn't in the greatest neighborhood. And so the neighborhood cops, they would come and shine the lights in the windows and go, you go home, or call me if you want to go to the car, So I probably worked till like 4 in the morning or something.
Wow.
So I decided I'm just going to go in there and crash for a couple hours. And I didn't want to wrinkle my suit. So now this is a center office with no windows, right? So I take off my suit and I hit the bed. So the next morning I can hear employees coming in, the lights are going on, phones are starting to ring, and you can see the light coming in under the door, and I am like dead to the world, right? And I'm on my side, right? So one of my staff open the door. So what she sees is shoulder, right? She says, God almighty, she's naked. I'm laughing. I think it's funny. I'm like, shut the door and leave me alone, right? Right then, guess who calls? George. Billy gets on the phone with George. My boss is naked. He's like, what? And she said, she's in the spare room sleeping, and she's in the office naked, right? So, and we're all, just funny. He's laughing and everything. Okay. Well, this is a small town.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it wasn't a week later. I had to go down to the Georgia Department of Revenue. Okay.
Is everybody laughing?
I walk in the door and I go up to the receptionist and I said, "Hi, I'm Sarah Laidlaw. I'm here to," and she goes, "Sarah Laidlaw?"
You're famous now.
And I look down the hallway and all these heads start popping out.
Girl.
I get down to George's office. I said, "Did you tell the whole office?" He said, "Heck yeah." He said, "You don't have perks like that here." Oh my gosh. So let me tell you something. When I call the Georgia Department of Revenue, everybody knows who
They answer the phone for you.
Right, right.
They say, "Are you decent?"
Yeah, you decent. Exactly. Exactly. You decent. Oh my God. I heard about that for many years.
Oh, it keeps life interesting.
Yeah. I miss her. Her husband got transferred to Seattle. And she had twins. She called them debit and credit.
Oh.
They were crazy. The first time I met these kids, she had them on, the leashes because they were wild. They were like 3 and they're like wild, and she has one under one arm that's kicking and she's got the other one on a leash and everything. And she came in and I said, and my server was in the hallway. It was underneath a counter. And darn if one of those kids should walk up and
Oh.
the whole office went boo.
And tell that to your insurance.
I was screaming because, in those days, software didn't quite save.
Closed down very easy.
Yeah, if you got bumped out, you
Yeah,
probably lost
yeah.
everything you just did. So.
That 18-page report I was working on in school, the screen just suddenly went blank, and I was just sitting there hard down, boo-hooing, and I was in the computer lab, and the guy said, "Well, what's wrong?" And that was my first episode where I learned to save everything.
Save.
Control S became my very best
Your
point
friend.
forward. I mean, my fingers just automatically go like this on their own. No, I can't.
You don't even know you're doing it.
I don't even know I'm doing it. Just know it's getting done. Oh no.
Oh, man.
That is my best. Man, the best thing Microsoft could have did was automatic save.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, any of us have been in business for a long time. We've gotten this far. I swear to God.
Okay. Well, switching gears a little bit. Did anybody get caught up in the internet, Dan? You have to leave, Linda?
In the what?
I
You
said
wanna
it's my turn yet.
Oh, sorry, I've been talking. God. Sorry. You got to wait till I breathe and then dive in.
Or just to say, just kind of get our attention.
Go ahead,
I've
Linda.
given out, I've done 4 proposals this week.
Woo!
Are for QuickBooks Online, and one is for QuickBooks Desktop. It's a client that I set up in 2006, and now they're starting a new company and they want me to set it up and bring things over. So
Fantastic.
Nice.
Now you can just blame yourself if the books look bad.
I was there in 2006 and that was it. They haven't used me since then. So
Have you ever gone into a set of books that you set up years ago and you go, why did I can't believe I used to do that.
I did it 6 months ago, and I'm like, what did I think?
What was I thinking?
yeah. Anyway, I find out this QuickBooks Online stuff is actually going pretty well because I'm so new at it, I have to call in for help all the time. They're very, very good about giving you help with QuickBooks Online. They're really sweet about the whole thing. And not only that, but we're working on an Apple computer, like a big iMac, I guess. And there's 6 people in the house that use the computer. So so the email gets set up, and you're always like, I'm used to just being the only one using a computer, so I don't have to worry about whose email comes up. But here, you have to be careful, because the last person signed in was somebody else, and they haven't signed out, so then you have to sign out and sign in. It's really interesting. But the people are, and the lady that's using it is new at computers, whether they're Apples or PCs, and I'm new at Apples. And but the kids come and help us when they can. They're teenagers. And
Thank God for them.
I need a teenager at my house.
Really? I mean, my 9-year-old grandson has helped me with something. I'd be like, oh, is that how you do that?
and
Yeah,
you gotta use 2 fingers. No, you got to use 1 finger, depending on the kind of scrolling you're doing on an Apple. So anyway, but I find out actually I'm really quite good at it because I'm so new at it. I can understand why they're struggling with it.
Right.
Good point. Really
Right.
good point.
That's right.
Yes. And so I tell them, no, don't get upset. It's going to take a while before you get used to this. This is new. You can't remember when you learned to walk. It was so long ago. But trust me, this is just as hard as learning to walk, if not worse, And so, I really have come up with a really good description. When you have the bank feeds, it like downloads into this left-hand column. And then but it's on the bank feeds. It's not in your check register yet. You're going like, what? I just downloaded it from the bank feeds. Why isn't it in the check register? Because it stays there until you move it over.
Yes, yeah.
And they've done a lot of really neat things. When you match something up, it turns it green.
Right.
It turns all the rest of them like that green, and you make sure that it's done it correctly. And then you show them, you say, see, and then you just come down here and you click add. And then I go over to the check register and I said, see, it moved all of those things from your bank feed over into your check register. And they go, oh, that's what you were talking about. I said, I know, it's kind of odd, but that's the way the computer programmers set it up. We're not computer programmers, so we
What is-
It's all set up right.
What does it mean when it turns gray?
I'll tell you, okay, there's a lot of reasons when it turns gray. I've had to call it 3 times on that. One is it may mean there's some little thing you've missed checking, okay? But mostly it means you're not using Chrome, Google Chrome, the browser. If you don't use, like we were trying to import a list of vendors from CSV, would not import in Safari, it would not import in Firefox, but as soon as we got to Google Chrome, it imported just fine.
Picky.
Also, for the gray match, oftentimes I have found is that there may be multiple choices for that amount and that date, and it doesn't know which one to match. So you have to decide which of the 2 that you want to match it with. So that's
half matched.
Gray means to me, look at a little more
limits your
closely.
search to
Right,
those. And then you have to decide which one you want to select. That's
Right.
one point I do remember in my experience so far.
But a lot of times I'll be doing something like adding something new, adding a new vendor. And then I don't get the thing at the bottom that says save. It's kind of grayed out.
You mean there's something else?
On the phone, and then they get on with me and they show me how to make it work.
Did you forget to add something to it? Is it because you forgot to add something, or why was it grayed out?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons why it might be. It might be there's something you were supposed to check,
Right.
a little box somewhere that you didn't, or a field you didn't fill in that you were supposed to fill in. You have to do everything right to get that to show up so you could save it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but I find that the clients love that actually. In the beginning, I was starting to but they love it because it makes them feel not so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say,
Feel not so
in the
stupid, too.
beginning, so I'm not feeling bad. And I wanted to tell you, Peggy, when you tell them, you know, your rate and that, if anybody says, well, it's a little high, and you can say, yeah, I realize I'm a little higher than most of the other people around here, but you know, I'm a lot better. And I won't be able to stay in business if I don't keep my rate up a little higher than the other people.
I took your advice last night. I was telling the people when I went to the event, and I was like, and we had to introduce ourselves, and they were like, "What do you do?" I say, "My name is Peggy West. I'm an independent bookkeeper." Gave my name, business name. I say, and I specialize in cleaning up your books. And they were like, "Really? What does that mean?" You know, I say it means that next time you present your financial statements, they're going to be professional, quality work.
Right.
I will be calling you. I said, "Okay, here's my business card."
The other thing
I was so excited.
You're memorable, and that's important. People are going to remember you because you're very alive and that, and they remember me too. I get calls sometimes 5-10 years after people meet me at a meeting.
Right.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I didn't take Mark's name when I married him.
I've
actually had people call Laidlaw. They don't remember my business name, but they remember Laidlaw years later. And I'm like, you know what? I changed my name. They can't find me.
That's right.
So you put it back in the middle, you know, hey, all right, you know, whatever.
Also known as, it depends on what crowd I'm with.
You know, I think I got to give my mom a lot of credit for that, because she always taught us you don't meet strangers. You know, when you greet a person, you greet them with your hands out and a smile on your face. It only takes like 1 second.
That's a good mama.
And she instilled that in us, and that's just me. I don't care who it is. I mean, I have people, they you know, other people like, I wouldn't have made them speak. Oh, they're going to speak to me. And I end up really good friends with those that everybody claims don't speak to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me.
The best part of what happened was yesterday I got a phone call from the guy that that's a $15 million a year company, and I brought him from after using Quicken for 44 years over into QuickBooks. And
Right.
And I integrated, so we pull in the Oak Street, the invoices, the AR, and the sales and inventory once a month.
Still doing them?
What?
You still have them? You still doing them?
He just extended the contract $1,000 a month for me to do about 5 hours of work.
Good for you.
I'm so proud of you, lady.
I don't have to send him an invoice or anything anymore. He just goes into the office and leaves a check for me with the secretary. And he called me yesterday and he said he'd left the check for me and he was apologizing for being, I said, it's not really due till the 15th, but that's fine. No worries. I'll take it early anytime.
Is he on QBO?
No, I took him into QuickBooks Desktop because I wanted something that worked like Quicken. They actually were using 2 different data files in Quicken. One lady was doing a Quicken data file at her house. She would print the register and then send a copy of the register, and he would re-enter it into his.
That kills me.
That's a lot of work. That is so much work.
You should have said.
Doesn't mean you're a god to them.
Right? That sounds like a lot of work.
But he was, but we just worked through it, and I had to extend. I had originally quoted him 2,000. I said, you know, it's gonna be 3,000. He said, oh, no problem. And then he just, after we got it done, he just kept paying. He said, let's just pay you 1,000 every month. That way,
Just to check everything. Yeah.
You want to make sure everything is right.
Good.
Yeah. So
you guys are using QBox, Linda?
yeah,
I'm using QBox, yes.
and they love QBox. They love it. They just love it. But the thing that was so wonderful was he said to me, you know, when I think about my bookkeeping and the finances and everything now, I smile. Smile on my face.
Right.
Wow.
Before you came and switched us over to QuickBooks and merged it all together, there was no smile. There was a grimace, a real grimace on my face. And I said, you know what? after Thanksgiving, we're going to get together. We're going to do a little video together, and you're going to say that exact same
Yeah.
thing.
There you go. Yes, you need that on tape.
You need him to say that.
I
Yep.
was working with a minister in a church, and he goes, "You know what? I sleep so much better at night now." You know.
Nice. You don't get a better
That
compliment
would really
than
make
that.
a good video of clips of each one of your customers that you've made, that are so satisfied with your service. That'd be a great video.
Hey, Annie, what do you have, Sarah?
Huh?
What's that?
This is my office mascot.
Penny?
Office mascot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you want to play?
She wants to
Play
play.
with her.
He wants
Okay.
to play.
I've been buying her the ropes, and then she unties them, and then they have strings all over the house, and she's always looking like she's flossing and walking. And I found this one at one of those weekend shows. It's like felt,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
so she can't
Tear
make
it
it
up.
on the
Pull
string.
it
So
apart
she
like she
unties
did.
it. I just tie it all back.
Good.
Real springy. She loves it. So,
Nice.
question before I know it's getting late. Next week is QBO. I can't go.
I wish
Can't
I could go.
Okay, we're on the East Coast. So I am real anxious to find out what the big announcement of the new and improved QBO will be. And they've been teasing, like Stacy has been teasing about some things already because she's got it in beta. The main reason I'm staying in desktop, well, I have a lot of reasons I'm staying in desktop. But the number one reason is payroll and job costing and allocating payroll. Okay. So do you think everybody would be FaceTiming or live feeding that?
Something, early Friday afternoon, because it probably ends right around 3 on Friday.
Yeah, we can still have happy hour if even though you guys are going.
Well,
It's your time. See, we're in California, so you're fine. The time is
oh,
fine.
yeah, I'm up.
So
I'm good.
Are you going to QB Connect, Sarah?
I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'll be there.
No,
Are
I
you-
had to sell my ticket. We traveled too much this year.
Yeah, no, they did. They had
Linda,
to.
you'll have to let us know what the big
Well, then,
announcement
Linda,
is.
if they start doing anything really juicy, will you
Let us know.
I'll text you guys right away. I'll
text
make
or-
a text.
Yeah.
Kelly, are you going to go to QB Connect?
No, I was gonna go, and I could do it fairly inexpensively, but I decided to put the money towards some other things like Seth and Hector's course. I don't know. I just feel like in 3 days away, I thought
I hear you.
I really need to probably focus on my current clients. So I've been struggling with it for the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go. But I decided that I'm gonna.
Where are you located?
I'm in Ojai, California, which is near Ventura.
In California too. It's a big state.
California.
I'm in Ojai.
Oh, you're not far from me.
Where are you?
I'm in Upland, by
Oh,
Ontario.
okay. Yeah.
So
I'm clueless.
yeah,
Yeah, right?
Well, she can't
I'm
just
from Florida. Where you from?
walk into the San Jose Convention Center. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to study my geography a little bit.
And if they live in the Bay Area, it doesn't take them any time to get over to San Jose.
That wasn't my favorite stuff.
It's a 5-hour drive for me up there. So it's 10 hours round trip, more. I'm like, I don't know.
You got to look at ROI. I started going to so many conventions and so many things and being online all the time and everything. And finally, it's like, I need to work.
How much of that do you actually remember and retain after say a week after you're back?
I think it's the
Sometimes it's
connection.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's for the connection.
It's the networking. It's the
That's why I
connection.
go.
It's seeing people in person.
Well, for me,
Everybody that I have met online, that I've met in person, is way more awesome in person.
Yes.
I mean, I liked them
Yes.
online, but when I
Yeah.
met them in person, whoa.
The only thing Linda Russell said to me was, wow.
You know what, though? Do you remember that first year, Sarah, and Nancy Smythe was there?
Oh, yeah.
Short as me.
Are you sure?
I'm 6 feet tall, barefooted, so I was
Oh,
3.
you?
So Linda's going, what the? You don't look that tall on camera.
You sure don't? Wow.
6'3".
Alrighty, guys, we are over. So I'm going to end for today. Same
What?
time. Pardon?
We'll try to join next week. Brandon's probably coming out.
Yeah.
We'll try to join, around 2:00, which would be, that's 2:00 our time, 5 your time. So it should be pretty much done. We should be able to give you, but we can text you stuff earlier when we
Okay.
find things out,
I'm just
Awesome.
jumping a bit
Awesome.
about that payroll.
So.
I bet
Mary
it's
says
going
there's
to be on
going
the
to be frost on my pumpkin tonight. Yes, there is. We're in a big deep freeze here.
Yeah, I think I read that it's real
Oh my
cold back in
goodness. We went right from summer to winter. This is going to be hard.
Overnight.
I was kind
Overnight.
of miffed last week or the week before when I stepped outside. I was like, wait a minute, this is Florida. It's only October.
Here's the dangerous part. I work in the house, so I don't go anywhere.
Right.
That's what I plan on not doing anything tonight. Just closing all the curtains,
Right.
staying in,
All cozy.
all cozy. Yeah, me and my
Yeah.
little Rocky.
But you go from your nice house, and this happens in the summer too. You go from the air conditioned house into the air conditioned car, and you open the garage door, and then you drive, and then you get where you're going.
And get,
You
oh
open
my
the
God.
car door and go, oh my husband, the Boy Scout, he's done this in the past. He puts spare coats in the trunk because he knows I do that. I get where I'm going, totally clueless, and I get out and I go,
Wow.
oh my God.
I was like, I am not. When I came to Georgia for my nephew's graduation last December, I ended up going over there. What is that? Start with a tool outlet or something like that. Over in Savannah.
Oh, by Hilton Head?
Yeah, I went to this outlet over in Savannah when I was there, somewhere over there. And I bought a coat, and I wore that coat one time. I wore that coat one time.
You should send it up
You just have
north.
to come back this side of the country.
I think it's gonna be cold. I think
It's cold here.
I think it's gonna be cold. It got cold in October in Florida, so I think it's gonna be a little nip in the air. So I'm gonna hold on to my coat. I can probably get one more wear out of it. I'm wearing my coat.
All right. Well, I wish I had a fireplace, but I hope you all have a cozy. I'm about to go eat dinner. Well, no, I got a thing to go to. Yes. I don't like to go anywhere.
I know, right?
Bye, everyone. Same time, same place next week.
Bye, everybody.
All right.